Talking with Topher is sponsored by slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, naturalbossnh.com, and New Hampshire Vape Gallery. More on that later. Let's get into the show. I am so glad to be back. Thank you very much, TwT fans, for joining me. This is episode 35 of Talking with Topher, and every episode is just so exciting for me. Seeing all of the audience and the community growing every week is just, well, it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing for a person like me. I started doing this to help myself, and I'm starting to realize that I'm helping others as well, and that's another thing that makes me keep coming back to this every week. If you're already watching, subscribing, and commenting, and thumbs upping, and all of that jazz, I have just got to say thank you over and over and over again. I don't think I'll ever have an episode where I'm not super thankful for everybody out there supporting me and just helping this podcast grow. So I appreciate all of you, and thank you so much. If this is your first time watching, listening, remember to subscribe, hit those like buttons, and send your comments. If you don't want to send your comments, but you'd rather write your own story. If you have a story that needs to be heard, or you know somebody who has a story that needs to be heard, send it on down to my email. That's right, talkingwithtopher@gmail.com. That's talkingwithtopher@gmail.com. That's TalkinWithtopher. I think a lot of people have been misspelling that, and that's my apologies. For some reason, I thought it would be cool not to have a G at the end of talking, so it's talkin', and that might be my own fault. So if you've already sent out some emails and you're not quite sure why you haven't heard me respond, or I haven't read it on the podcast yet, it's because it's talkin' with Topher, not talking, and so if you go searching for it, any of that stuff, you're not going to find it. I will have it at the bottom of the screen. But send your stories. I came up with a new segment. I thought it was taken off. And unfortunately, not so much. This last week or this week, no one sent any emails. So therefore, the segment cannot exist. But I do want you to send your emails. And I do look forward to hearing from all of you. I also have links. That's right. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. So all of those are available. Go on there. Follow me. Send your messages through DM. That's fine too. I have been searching them more. In hopes that maybe the email was a little incorrect. So maybe people were hitting me up through the direct messaging on any of those programs. Unfortunately, the answer is no, so the segment doesn't exist again this week, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. This is going to take a long time to get to where I wish it was and compared to where it is at. And that's just fine. It's patience, right? Got to have patience with everything we do. And then I just hope everybody is enjoying, or did enjoy. I hope everybody has enjoyed their Turkey Day, their Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great time. I know I did. I didn't have to go anywhere. Like I said, I went to my grandmother's the Sunday before, and then Thanksgiving showed up, and it was stay at home and do nothing. So it was nice. We cooked nice little turkey dinner, and we still kind of ate the same food, but it was just me, the wife, and one friend that came over, and it was a great time. It was good. So I'm hoping everybody out there had also an enjoyable time during their Thanksgiving. Let's see here. I have got something that I I'm a little hesitant to talk about because I don't have a ton of personal experience with it, but I think it's a discussion that I myself forget to have. And unfortunately, it's suicide. And I know this is not a great subject to touch on. I know a lot of people out there have dealt with this, but I never see when I talked about my mental health and bettering myself. Even at my worst, I might have told somebody else to hurt me. I may have made threats in the past. Actually, the story that I want to tell once I have 100 subscribers, I did use it in a threatening manner to kind of get what I wanted. So I've used it that way, saying that I'm going to hurt myself. And of course, I've dealt with people that I've worked with that are unfortunately no longer here because of this situation. But, well, very recently, I found out that my wife's cousin, I found out he killed himself. And we got the phone call yesterday. And this is Monday, by the way. Rainy, shitty day in New England, but that's okay. We still smile. But yeah, so my wife got the phone call. And, man, it's sad. It's just really sad. I think out of the last 13 years, I met this person maybe 5 times. Maybe. It could have been closer to 3. So I can't say that I had like a great relationship with this person. My wife, knew him. Obviously, it's her cousin, so they hung out a few times, whatever. It was upsetting. It didn't seem to hit her too hard, and I think that's because of the, you have people in your family, and you don't even know that they're there, unfortunately, until they pass sometimes. And I'm not saying that's one of those situations, but I feel like the distance between them, my wife is a very, very loving, caring person, and when people die and things go wrong and stuff like that, she gets very emotional. So when I didn't see a lot of emotion behind her on this, it was more the distance in the relationship and the fact that she never really got to know him is what I got out of her. And that's not an issue or a problem. The issue and the problem are, I talk about taking care of our mental and taking care of ourselves to be healthier people. But when I say taking care of my mental, I'm thinking about getting off my Wellbutrin and getting off of certain medications so that I can figure out whether or not I need them anymore. And I've never been in the position where I was so down that I wanted to kill myself. And I almost feel like I can't talk about this. One, because I have no personal experience with it, and 2, I'm not a licensed person, right, to be talking about this, but I am always talking about bettering ourselves, doing better, getting your mental health straight, getting your physical health straight, and becoming a healthier person to come out the other side of this and just be better than who you were before this all happened. And when we got this phone call the other night, it really made me think, like, holy crap, I've never really thought about getting your mental state to the point where you don't take your own life. And I've definitely been down some dark roads, but that was never something that I heavily thought about. I have thought about it, but when I thought about it, I thought about what it would do to everybody else around me, and that would change my thoughts on everything, because then I would realize, I would tell myself that this isn't where I should be going, right? It's only going to trouble everybody else. A lot of people say that it's very selfish of the person to do this to everybody, and I have no idea what that person was going through. I know that he had a really hard start to his life, and I'm sure things were not easy. During his teenage years, I want to say he was around 25. And that's another reason I'm bringing it up, because, well, he was just too young. I remember when I was 25, and, man, it wasn't good. I got my second DUI when I was 25. But just it made me feel like bad. Like, I wish there was something I could do to help. Well, not only that person, but anybody out there dealing with this. I mean, I can't. I know I can't. I can just tell you what I think, and you can listen to me if you want to or not, and then, you make a decision. But this is just something that I feel like we all deal with or have dealt with. Unfortunately, I knew I knew a person that I worked with back in the day, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us either, and I think it was about 2 years now. He was struggling with things. Things weren't going right in his life, and, he ended it in his car in the parking lot of the business, and he left behind 2 girls and a wife. And everything was really hard for all of them in the beginning, obviously, because it was just before Christmas. It confuses the girls. It confused everybody. I mean, that was a really brutal situation. And, we have we canceled it this year, but we usually do like a charity run, for suicide in the spring. And one of the main reasons we started doing it was because of him. So, we do a small part to bring focus to this problem. But man, this phone call really brought it home. I don't think I've had any family members, end it. I don't know. I don't think there's a nice way to put this. I'm trying to be PC, and I just don't think it's going to work. So I'm going to do my best, and I apologize if I offend anybody. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to bring light to this subject, because this is the worst time of year for a lot of people. And right now with COVID and suicide and depression and all of the numbers being up, it makes me really realize that this is bigger than me. It's bigger than you. This is huge, and we got a lot of people stuck at home right now. They're getting super depressed. They're without a job. They're worried about whether or not they're going to lose their friggin' roof over their head. And instead of dealing with that, now they're killing themselves. And I mean, I don't know about you, but this is something that I didn't think about, because, well, I thought about everything a little bit differently, and I did what I needed to, and now I don't have to think about these things anymore. So that's me. I don't live in an apartment building. Maybe I have a good job. Some people had a decent job that was taking care of the bills, and now that job's gone and it's closed and it's never coming back. And so I can see where all the problems lie. I can see how people would want to just give up. Of course, I've given up on things. I've definitely thrown in the towel a few times on something I've been doing or trying, and I realized that it wasn't exactly the right thing to do. I should have followed through. I should have finished it out. I should have, but I didn't. I gave up. And I think that's a human reaction. You just tell yourself it's over and you give up. And I know that makes me a little bit weak, but I've learned from that. I've grown from that, and now I don't. And that's what I want to try and help anybody out there that's listening right now. I want you to realize you're not alone in this. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are homeless right now. There is hundreds of thousands of people without jobs that are probably losing their homes soon. So even though he was troubled, and I don't know if this was known, I don't know if there was an opportunity to help him. I will just say that there was never something said to me or my wife about it. So I feel like if I had known, or if there was something we could have done, we would have done it. We would have made the phone calls. We would have gone where needed to visit. I always try to do everything that I can to help. Always. But now he's no longer with us. We're going to have to prepare for that. Unfortunately, there'll probably be services, this is just something that we're going to carry with us for the years to come now. Whenever we go and we bury them or whatever they do, all right? I'm planning on being cremated. That's why I say whatever they do. I plan on being in an urn on a fucking shelf in my house. That's what I plan on, but my wife can put me in an urn and throw me off a cliff for all I know. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what happens to the remains after, in a sense. So, but we're always going to be reminded of this year after year from here on out. And I don't think, I know that the person is mentally struggling, and I'm not saying this person, I'm saying all the people, everybody out there that's struggling with this, is who I'm trying to reach right now. I want you to know that there is always something that can be done. I have put myself in such bad situations where I have been like, I am screwed. I'm never getting out of this. My life is over. And you bounce back. And it seems really bad, and it's harsh right now. You may not have, I don't know, I'm stuck at home with my wife, okay? And we haven't killed each other in 9 months. Other people are stuck at home by themselves. That's got to be very hard. I don't think I would have been able to do that, but I don't know because I wasn't stuck in that situation. Other people might be stuck at home, and being at home was the worst case scenario because going to school or going to work and doing those things was their escape from their household. That is also true today. Child abuse, domestic disputes, all up because of COVID. So there's so much stuff going on. There is just so much. But I do not believe when you or I look at ourselves and go, shit, it's over. My life is over. that is the incorrect answer. It's not over. It's definitely maybe halted or on pause, for sure. Any of those things, but it's not over. And there's always ways to get help. And I understand that that with this mental, I don't even know if it's an issue. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Is it just so much depression and disappointment in yourself? I don't know what brings this on. Like I said, I've used it as leverage. I've been like, you don't do this, I'm going to kill myself. So I've been one of those people. But I've never actually thought about offing myself, which is why I was a little hesitant about talking about this. But I feel like it's so important because, we're all struggling financially. We're all struggling, with being locked up and all this shit and being stuck at home. But what about the people that can't handle that part of it? And I'm not saying anybody's weaker than the next person, but everybody has their own threshold, right? Of how much pressure you can take before you give up, before you snap, right? There's all kinds of different pressures for everybody. And unfortunately, whatever was pressuring this person, the pressure won. And that made me sad to know that somebody so young who had a lot of life in front of them got to the point where they said they can't do this anymore and it would be easier if I just wasn't here. And I got sad for that. I got sad for my wife. I was sad for my mother-in-law because this is tough. This is hard to deal with. This is somebody, that had a future. This person had a future and it's no longer there. And it's just really sad. And I wanted to talk about it because it is serious and it is going on today, and the numbers are growing. All right? The numbers are growing, and I really feel like it's something we all need to acknowledge, and do what you can. This is why I said earlier, there's people on all different spectrums of this quarantine lockdown shit, and some people are not doing as good as others. And now that we can't see each other as much, or we're choosing not to still see people because some people are just gotten so afraid of the fear porn that they literally believe everything. So they're so scared that they won't even leave the house anymore. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's exactly what the news was made to do. That's exactly their whole entire point, is to get you to that point where you will not even leave your house. So this is why I said weeks ago that we need to be calling these people. If you had a group of people that you literally saw, I'd say 3 months out of the year, right? So we've all got close friends that we see every week, right? So those people we stay in close contact with. We're on the phone almost every day with them. Close contact. You're still keeping that, once or twice a week thing going, but now you're not getting together. But then there was the people that would show up, the mutual friends, and then we would all show up for, say, 4th of July events or Christmas events, which is not happening this year. No one's going to do a Yankee swap, which is kind of sad. I do look forward to the Yankee swaps, even though sometimes they're very, very silly and somebody always buys a poor-ass gift. But it's fun, and it will be missed. I forgot. But yeah, so, those people too, you got to keep in contact with them. And I'm not saying that you need to go as long as 3 months. I tried to up mine a little bit more, just so, because when we saw each other, we saw each other. You know what I mean? And now that's not happening. So I figured a couple extra calls a month, that's a good way to do it. Just a couple extra text messages. But you need to check in on everybody. And and it's not like I'm saying, well, I guess I am. I'm saying, like, this is your job. I do this all the time. Like, if I want to see my parents, I have to call them. I got to go see them. If I want to see my sister, I got to call her. I got to go see her. I've got to put in the work because, well, my parents aren't going to come see me. It would be nice, but it's not going to happen. My sister's got kids and a whole bunch of bullshit going on in her life. So if I want to see her and the kids, I got to make all these efforts. I got to do these things. I have to put in the work and go see them. And now I got to put in the work with my friends to make sure everybody's doing okay. Because I don't want anybody to be struggling at all. But I also want them to know if they are struggling, they have somewhere where they can lean. Right? So all of these things are super important. They're important in building relationships. They're important for keeping friends. And I'll tell you, it makes me feel good to be able to do this for people. Because I was not a person that you could lean on. I was not a person that you could talk to. I was a piece of shit alcoholic who only gave a fuck about himself. Nobody else, just myself. And as long as I was getting drunk and having a grand old time, I didn't give a fuck what anybody was doing, and I didn't care about anybody because I was taking care of myself. And to have this switch, I don't know if it was a switch, I don't know. When I got rid of the alcohol, something flipped in me. And as I get further and further away from alcohol, I feel better and stronger. And I feel that I can finally make a difference. So now I'm showing everybody that I'm someone that you can turn to, you can talk to, you can cry on my shoulder if you need to. And that makes me feel really good because even though I can't do something, listening, talking, and being there, whether it's on the phone or in person, means the world usually to the person on the other end. I know when I have to talk about something and I get to get it out, whoever is in front of me, that's the person I'm most thankful for allowing me to speak, for listening to me, and then just hearing my problems. You don't have to fix them. I just want somebody to hear them. Why? Because we need to get this out. It needs to come out. Everything that's coming out of my mouth right now is everything I've been thinking about for the last 24 hours. You know, it's just, we got to get it out. We got to talk about it. The more we sit on it, the more you just keep it in your own mind, the more it builds up, the worse it gets, and the harder to deal with it. It makes it harder to deal with. So, even though this is tough to talk about, and it does make me sad, It really does. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate that this happens and that it happened to this person. Because I may have only met the person a couple times, but not a bad person. And that's what makes it sad. You know, everybody has a chance. And I know it's the right of the person to give up. I get it. I'm not saying it's not. I just think that we need to talk about it a little bit more. And maybe if there was a way we could have reached out, something. I'm not saying that like I'm holding on to this and I could have fixed them. I'm just saying I wish I had been given the opportunity to possibly say something, to talk to the person, to anything at all. You know, maybe there was a family gathering we didn't make it to one year, and I kind of wish we were, you know what I mean? You just make all this shit up in your brain. You start going over things, and it's possible that there was absolutely nothing that could have been done. But sometimes you think, hey, well, now I'm more aware. So maybe now I can hold it upon myself a little bit to ask more questions. Instead of going to an event, which I don't even know if we're doing them anymore, but when we get back to those things, but when you go to an event, a family thing, you know, you'll walk around, you'll say hi to everybody, blah, 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 blah. And then 20 minutes after you're in the party, you pick your selected group, right? We all do it. We pick that group, and then we stick with that group. I mean, I went to a wedding, you know, months ago, whatever the fuck it was, and everybody had their own table, and everybody stayed at that table because everybody felt comfortable in those groups. Well, maybe it's my responsibility, or maybe I'm making it my responsibility from now on to walk those tables, talk to those people. Because even though it was a wedding, so there's friends and family, it was mostly family for this one because of COVID. So, and I still stuck to my table. I literally did not start thinking this way until last night. So, I'm starting to think to myself, well, instead of going to the party or going wherever and saying hello to everybody and then just disappearing into my comfortable group, I think it's time for me to pull myself out of that and go talk to the people I don't normally talk to. Go, you know, maybe there's somebody sitting by themselves. Sit down with them instead of sitting at the group table and having them looking in. Maybe I should go sit with them and talk to them and see what's going on. You know, they may just look at me and be like, I just want to be alone right now. And that's fine. You may get pushed back or pushed away, but you put in the effort. And I think that's where I'm starting to put myself is I want to put myself in the position to put in effort. And check on the people I don't normally check on and see how everybody is doing, you know. Any little bit you can help. I had a friend call me the other day and he needs a reference so he can get a job. Done, dude. Done. Not a problem. If that's the least I can do to help you, done. Worked with him in the past, worked with him, you know, and it's just, he's a great person to work with, and he really needed my help. So, little things like that go a long way, right? So, like I said, I apologize for, you know, I know for talking about such a dark subject, but I think we need to think about this. And we all need to look around and see what we can do to help. I know I'm going to. I'm hoping the walk will come back next year. I'm going to look into some stuff because this is serious and it's sad. And you can't stop it, obviously, but if I can stop it if I can do a little bit to help stop it, then isn't that better than doing nothing? I think it is. slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Again, that is slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. If you are looking for some beautiful prints for these holiday gifts that you're giving this year, I suggest you go and check these guys out. They have got some of the best stuff I wear personally and have seen. I love the prints that Tony Savaro does on all of his stuff. They've got phenomenal printed t-shirts. They've got neck gaiters. Women out there, you want some new leggings? These things are tight. I'm telling you, from the ankle to the upper thigh, they have wonderful, beautiful prints. You need a winter hat? Slowdown's gotcha. And then, of course, they just came out with brand new gloves. Yeah, these things are great. I just saw them on Instagram this morning, and I'm very excited about them. But they look like they're going to be great. Snow blowing, shoveling, dirt biking, whatever you're doing. I'm sure these gloves are going to be great. They got grips underneath on the fingers. They got the Velcro across the wrist, so they're great, like mechanics gloves. So you can use these for pretty much anything you want. And what if the little one you're looking for this year wants a skateboard? Go down to these guys. I'm telling you, slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Get your little one a skateboard this year. Yeah, these decks are friggin' sweet, man. So, again, if you're looking for new t-shirts, new gift ideas, maybe some new gloves for the winter, this is where to go. slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Again, that is slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. And if you need to know how to spell it, it'll be at the bottom of the screen. naturalbossnh.com. That's right. naturalbossnh.com. Are you looking for a great hand sanitizer? Maybe something so that you don't have dry skin? Well, I got two wonderful products that I use personally, and I get them at naturalbossnh.com. They have the best hand sanitizer I have ever used. I am telling you, I would not lie to you. I use this stuff every day, in and out of stores, before I start driving, before I touch my face after I've been shopping. I live by this stuff. It's a phenomenal product. It smells great, and it works phenomenal, making sure that my hands are not sticky when they touch the steering wheel and keeping me COVID and flu free. I love it, and I love knowing that my hands are clean as well. Their salve is phenomenal. It really helps with my dry skin. I get it on the back of my neck, so now if it's a cold, frosty morning, I'll put a little bit of the salve on my neck before I leave the house, and voila, it is great. Cold air is hitting the back of my neck, and no dry skin, no crackly feeling, no nothing. It's great. I love it. So get yourself some salve. And let's say you need some lip balm. Well, they just came out with that. You doing no shave November going into December? Or maybe you just don't shave in general and you like to keep a beard on your face. Well, they have a phenomenal beard oil as well. 2 different scents and same great result. Then you have a body and foot soak. So this is great. If you have a bathtub, I don't, so I don't get to use the body soak. But if you're at home and you get to put it in your bath, you're going to have a great experience with it. As well as just being able to do a foot soak, which is always nice. You get that little thing with the water and the bucket and the vibration under the feet, and you put the salt in there, and boom. lifting off into relax land. It is they're all great products. They're all made locally here in New Hampshire. So go to naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com today. Get your hand sanitizer, get your salve, or get one of any of their wonderful 5 products today. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings. This shop has everything, and I am telling you this because I personally work there, and I help people all the time. I am there to help you out. If you are looking to upgrade a device, I'm there. Ask me. I'm going to tell you what you need. I'm going to help you get into that new device. Maybe you're just looking to quit smoking cigarettes for the first time and you have no idea what you need. Well, I'm going to be there to help you as well. We both will. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is there to answer all of your questions and to make sure that we have everything that you need in stock every day. And with the holidays coming, well, it'll be a great time to get that person that you wanted off of cigarettes a brand new device. So come on in. We'll help you help them. Speaking of devices, I got some of the best devices that I've seen in a long time. These things keep getting smaller and smaller. This is the brand new RPM 80. This is a great device. It runs off of the RGC coil, which is amazing. That means real game changer, by the way. And it is a game changer. I'm vaping 35 nicotine out of this device. I'm getting huge clouds, and it's just it's amazing. They're great devices. And these disposables that we carry, look at this. Escobar just came out with 3 new flavors to their Double X line. They are amazing. The Blue Raz is fire. They came out with Spearmint. So many flavors, 150 different ones to speak of hanging on my wall. And I definitely got over 100 different flavors on my shelves for Salt Nick and Freebase Juice. So, again, this is New Hampshire Vape Gallery. We're located at 180 Lafayette Road in Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings. Feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171. And we are open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. You can come in our store provided you wear a mask, and I look forward to seeing you there. And now, back to the show. Well, let's have some fun, all right? I know, I'm sorry. Dark, and all of a sudden, boop, we're going to have some fun. I don't know. I'm all over the place. I did script this one out a little bit better. But I wanted to talk about the fights because I'm actually curious to know how many people paid for a sparring match. I couldn't do it. I found out it was a draw after the fact. I found out. Oh, so if you haven't watched it yet, I apologize for the spoiler alert. But yeah, it was a draw. California commissions, athletic commissions would not allow them to have a full fight. So that's why it was an expedition or whatever they call it. And it wound up being a draw. Well, what the hell else are you going to get out of a sparring match besides a draw, especially when they're not allowed to knock each other out? I heard it was very entertaining. I heard it was really good. I heard the YouTube guy fucking came out of nowhere, had a great KO. So, I mean, I'm sure the card itself was decent. But I was so hyped up on this Mike Tyson thing. I wanted to see him unleashed. And I found out it was a sparring / no knockout type of thing, probably at the beginning of the week. And I was like, yeah, I'm out. And just curious how many people actually watched it. I heard it was entertaining, but it was just, it pissed me off that they weren't going to be able to go at it. And it pissed me off enough where I didn't pay for it. Now I'm just listening to the aftermath and all the fights coming up. So, but I don't know. I just, God damn it. Why didn't they let them fight? Why didn't they let them fight? They're 53, 54-year-old men, I think. Right? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. They could be 56 for fuck all I know. But I don't understand why they couldn't just fight. I wanted to see a fucking knockout. I don't know about you, but I really wanted to see Tyson fucking just go crazy. So, I don't know. I was bummed out, but I heard it was a good time, good card, and the YouTube guy took off. So, that's great. I'm happy for him because I heard very negative things about where that was going to go. So, I'm glad he turned it around and picked himself up there. So, great. That's great. And I hope everybody enjoyed him this weekend. And I hope you got your money's worth. I really do. I don't feel like I would have gotten my money's worth, but I've been told a little bit different. Let's see. What else I got going on? I have got... I listen to a lot of podcasts. One of the reasons I've been doing this is because, one, I don't watch the news except for local when I get home at night. Maybe when the wife gets home, we'll throw it on. And I don't really care for CNN. I don't care for Fox. I don't care for any news organization today. I prefer to read articles, and then, of course, you have to fact check the fucking person that wrote it, and then you want to fact check the business that they wrote it for, and so you do a lot of fact checking. So I kind of got sick of all that, but I love when podcasts hit home. I love when podcasts touch on subjects, and then you can go in and you can verify those things, and I think that's definitely one of the things that's really helped me do this was seeing, so many people in the podcast world with their ums and their ahs and the stalls and the bad editing. And I was like, dude, I could totally do this. I think I could do this. And listening to them over and over and over again is actually where I've learned to speak, believe it or not. When I was drinking, I wouldn't be able to do this. One, because I couldn't talk. I mean, my wife was literally considered my translator for many, many years, even up until recently. I would say something, and she would chirp in behind me because you could see the expression on the person's face. They had no idea what I was saying, and she would be like, oh, no, he meant this. And then they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. What you said makes no sense. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And of course, now that I feel I'm getting a little bit better at speaking, getting a little bit better at thinking before I speak, which is something I was not very good at. And being capable of doing this every week is really helping me exercise the way I speak. Because the way I spoke was horrible. It was horrible. But so I listen to a ton of podcasts because I love hearing the different sides of things. And one of the ones that I listened to was with Tim Dillon on Sunday. And he had this woman, something Owens, on. That is a wild conversation. And to hear her thoughts and stuff, and she's super right. So definitely not a lot of stuff that I agreed with. But that's why I listened to it, right? And that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Sorry, long route. But I love hearing the difference. Like, I don't always want to listen to people that have the same opinion as me, or I want to listen to the people that don't have it, that don't have the same opinion as me, that don't have the same views that I view. I want all that difference because it allows me to think differently. Because I'm not married to my thoughts. I was. I was really married to my thoughts, but that was back in my drinking days. I thought I knew what was going on, and now today, without the drinking, interrupting everything, and me realizing that I don't know shit, has really opened me up to listen to everyone. Whether you're full right, you're full left, you're somewhere in between, it doesn't fucking matter to me. You could believe in God, not believe in God, believe in aliens, believe in flat earth. It doesn't matter to me. I want to hear anybody's opinion. I want to listen to all of them. I can't listen to everybody, but I want to listen to people I disagree with. And that's one of the reasons I really enjoyed this podcast on Sunday, was because even though she doesn't speak a lot of what I agree with, they weren't bad things. And I was like, son of a bitch. You know, it kind of opens you up. So I encourage more people to listen to people you don't agree with, which is why I don't agree with the cancel culture. And this will get me my next point. But the cancel culture only wants to hear what makes it feel good. Doesn't want to hear anything else. I mean, granted, we're canceling rapists, and we're canceling this, and yeah. All right, so there's some good things in there getting canceled. I get it. But when you start canceling people because you just disagree with them, well, that can't be happening. You want to listen to other people's stories. You want to hear something that doesn't agree to what your full thought is. Because they might touch on part of it, but they might be different on a different part. But what it does for me is it allows me to go, interesting. I didn't think of it that way. You know what I mean? So it opens up these little doors, and it helps me think differently. And I don't know what is going on right now with everybody out there, but this is not happening, and it should be. With the way the internet is, the access to everything, the ease of putting this all online, nobody's here to interrupt me. That's why I try to do the best that I can and not just go off on these long things and tell you I know what I'm talking about, because I feel like that is a false representation of myself. I mean, if I was on here telling you about flat earth and I believe in it and all this other stuff, I probably have 3.5 million subscribers. My videos probably would have been seen 300,000 times, and I'd be lying. I'd be doing it just for that. And I can't do that. That's something that I can't do on the hell is that word? It just makes me feel dirty, right? Doing things for clicks or trying to make a viral video, but we all know that a viral video just goes viral. You can't actually, I don't know, can you produce a viral video? I don't think you can. I think they just go viral. Like, it's just the video that went viral, and people are like, I wish I thought of that. And it's like, well, that's why it went viral, because it just happened. And it's more natural. That's why I like to be honest on this podcast and tell you that I'm a moron and tell you I don't know what I'm talking about. But I will tell you how I feel, and I will tell you that I'm going to try and do better. I'm going to be a better person. I want to be there for other people now that I've taken care of my own shit and cleaned up my own shit. It's time for me to pass this on, and try to help out as many other people out there as possible. And I think listening to different people's perspectives will help us all. You don't want to hide everything, and that's like the problem with Twitter, the problem with Instagram and YouTube, and demonetizing certain things, burying them, making sure you can't find them. It's just not the way it should be. We should be able to have access to everything, whether we agree with it or don't agree with it. Now, if it breaks the platform's logistics, then fine. But telling us we can't friggin' swear until 10 minutes into a podcast is fucking ridiculous. And it makes me angry. And I don't understand it. I already clicked the thing that says not for kids. So that should be highlighted. And if a kid clicks on it, that's not my fucking problem. That's the parents' problem. And the problem is that we don't put any of this shit on parents. We have to blame it on whatever we're using. I don't understand that. You don't want your kid on the fucking phone. Don't give them your fucking phone. Don't start giving them the phone. And if you don't want them to have a phone, don't give it to them until they hit an age that you feel is appropriate. But you can't get mad at the kid for wanting the phone over and over and over again if you're constantly giving the kid the phone. We all know that they're highly addictive. And we all have problems as fucking adults staying off of them. So it's probably not the best suited for the kids. I'm just saying, instead of TVs in the back seats, give them a game to play. We used to do a license plate guessing game. We used to do blue and red cars. I don't fucking know. There was punch buggy. Granted, we still got bored in the backseat. We still flipped out. We still made lots of noise. Dad had to pull over the car, got smacked around a few times. But that was life. And I dislike when people look back on that stuff and they're like, oh, this was wrong. Was it? When I got my ass beat with a cabinet door, was my dad really wrong for doing that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. In fact, a lot of the shit that happened to me when I was a kid, granted, made me who I am today, probably also helped with me fucking up my life a little bit. But today, I appreciate everything my parents did for me. Even the stuff that's looked upon as horrible. Now, I'm not saying beat your kids. I get it. But I was the asshole on the countertop with baggy pants. And I'm the one that jumped off like an asshole. Had my pants get caught on the handle of the door. Broke it off. And then what did I do? I took that cabinet door and I put it back in place as best as I could, and I shut it. And the pressure of the springs and the door against the wood caused the cabinet door to stay on. Now, here's where it falls apart. This cabinet door was to the liquor in the house for my dad. So what happens when Dad comes home after a day of work? And me and my sister are in our bedrooms and doing our homework or whatever the hell we're doing. Well, my dad comes in my door with the cabinet door. And I don't remember if there was questions. Probably was. Did you break this? I don't know if I said yes. I probably said no. I was always lying. Always lying. If I could lie, I would lie. I never wanted to tell the truth. And then I got to feel how that cabinet door felt a couple times. Now, I'm not saying I know what I'm doing, but I put my knees up, so he was hitting my knee and my leg. He wasn't, like, hitting me in the face. And that taught me a few things. Taught me, one, really don't like pissing off my dad. It taught me that I need to have more respect for people's shit. And it just, I feel like it made me a stronger person. I really do. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but it made me feel like a stronger person. So, even though things have changed, even though everything is different, we still need to hold people accountable. We still need to discipline, right? And this all stems, I believe, from listening to different people. Because if you're only listening to the people around you, then you're always going to have the same thoughts. And when I was younger and I got hit whenever, well, I always said to myself, that's exactly how I'm going to take care of my kids. Because as I got older, I felt like it worked. Even though I also felt like it didn't work. Because I was more resistant. I was not resistant. Begins with an R too. Maybe I had it right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But like, it would make me resist. It would make me push people away. It would make me double down and just do what I'm doing and not put any thought into it. But I also believe that was the alcohol. So all these things work together. And I believe that one of the things that has really, really helped me is listening to different people, different people's perspectives, different people's ideas, and not my own. Not what I always have known. Because I possibly, if I did have kids and I was still drinking, I have a very good idea of how that would have gone. Because when I was drinking and I'm raising a puppy, that dog today has fucking panic issues. He has high anxiety as soon as I raise my voice. And that makes me sad every time I see him like that. Every time me and my wife are having a conversation. Now, mind you, in the last year and a half, conversations in this house are actually conversations. They are no longer me yelling and screaming and then causing my wife to yell and scream as well because I'm too busy yelling and screaming, she can't get in a word. Okay? This was all happening. And because of that, my dog is really screwed up. And this is the same dog I almost punched for chewing a plant, you know. And I did a lot of those things thinking it was the right thing to do. And now I realize that I needed to change my way of training the other dog. And now I get to see the result of what it's like with the other one without, well, I'd have to say he missed about 80% of the yelling. It was probably a small window. I mean, he is 5 now, so I had him for probably 6 or 7 months before I stopped drinking. So 8 months. So I was drinking for about 8 months. And then drinking was gone. And then there was work to be done. And now I'm here. And so my other dog, if I start raising my voice, he doesn't get as upset. He doesn't get the same way as my first dog. And I'm like, man, what if I had had a kid? You know? And I have to think about that. I have to think about that because, I mean, no, I guess I don't have to think about that, right? I didn't have a kid. But I do. I think about it. I'm like, what the fuck would have happened if we had had a kid when I wanted to have a kid, which was at 35, which is 6 years ago now. Would that kid be just as fucked up as my oldest dog? You know? And that's one of the other reasons why I'm kind of happy that it didn't happen, because I was not in a state of mind to even take care of a dog, right? I believe that. So, I don't know. I tailspinned on this one. I went all over the place. But I think you need to listen to different people's perspectives. Listen to people you don't agree with. I think that's super important. Because if you're always agreeing with what you're watching, you're not expanding yourself. You're not growing. And you need to listen to people you don't agree with so that you can trigger some new thoughts and some new ideas. That's what I believe. Let's see here. That was my personal story. We're on 1 hour in. Ooh. Fun fact, I just learned this. I don't know if this is new information or not, but I am a direct result of this. False. It's not a prediction. All right, let me just get to the point. So, if you have ever been diagnosed, this is for people my age who were diagnosed with ADD, ADHD. I was diagnosed with it when I was 12 or 13. So that's 1993, 2003, I think. Shit. I'm always off on my years. So I'm going to go with, 93, I was 13. Yeah. 13, 14. So perfect. 93. So if you were diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, and I heard this on Dr. Drew. All right, so bear with me. I listen to him a lot. I like the way he's comforting. So, but if you were diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, it was false, like mine was. The diagnosis for ADD and ADHD is a diagnosis for alcoholism. Now, I have not looked into this. All right, I haven't done any information on it, but I was blown away. Because I always thought I had ADD, ADHD because they told me I did. Then they would give me medication and shit didn't do anything. But I was a full-blown alcoholic by the time I was 21. So, what they're saying is if you were diagnosed with that and it was a false diagnosis, which you should have figured out by the medication that they gave you, because if you took the medication and you became a zombie, it worked. You had ADD or ADHD. I think they're one and the same now. But if you took the medication and you went further off the fucking walls, like I did, that is a false thing. So it was a false diagnosis, which was actually a sign that I could have or have major alcoholism. It just blew my mind. I thought it was crazy. Like I said, I got to do more research. I got to look into this stuff. But I was like, what is this? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. So this entire time, we could have figured out I was an alcoholic, and we could have nipped it in the butt. But because they were like, no, he just has ADD, ADHD. He's just a wild child, so he needs these. I was like, no way. So I'm going to look more into this. I wanted to throw it out there because I know there's more people like me out there. I know there is. Back in the 90s, man, everybody had ADD. Everybody fucking had ADD. I mean, they're still saying it today, but not as much as they were when I was a kid. So look into that. If you've already got an alcohol problem and same thing happened to you, yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, might need some more help, okay? So I want everybody to look into that and check that out and see if you fall under those guidelines, because I did. Man, I almost wish that they did find out, but I'm so glad I'm here today. And I do not believe I would be right here today if they figured it out. You know what I mean? As much as I wish they had figured it out, I'm glad I lived through all of this. And live being a very, very fine word. Or thin word? I'm not sure. But really glad that, I didn't hurt myself, didn't kill myself, and didn't kill anybody else in the process of me growing up. Because the likeliness of any of those three things happening, very, very likely with my recklessness. But let's see here. So I think that's it, guys. That's it. This is Monday, right? We're recording on time. Thanksgiving's behind us. So if you made it through the holidays without a drink or without a drug, pat yourself on the back. Keep it going, all right? And just remember, please subscribe, hit the like buttons, send your comments, and send emails out. I really want to hear from everybody. Talkin, that's TALKIN, with Topher at gmail.com, and just send your story, or if you know somebody who has a story that needs to be heard, please send that. You saw how I read out the email a couple weeks ago, and I will do the exact same thing for you unless you specifically want the shout out. Otherwise, no one's going to know anything. I'm just telling another story. It's just not mine. And I think that even though I've got some stories, I don't have a shit ton of stories. I actually realized that I don't have as many as I thought I did. But I do have more. I'm just holding off on them. I want to hear from more people. I want to touch on tighter, tougher subjects. And I'm really gearing up to get ready for interviews. And actually having some conversations. So it's still a work in progress. Everything is right now, so I'm trying my best. People are busy, so I will get this all put together, and I'm just glad you're all along for the ride. So don't forget to follow me on TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right? Links are on the screen. And that's it, guys. I appreciate everybody who's already watching, listening, and commenting. Don't forget to tell your friends. Pass this thing along. Like I said, when I get to 100 subscribers, and I know that's not a lot, but for somebody like me, that's a ton. I'm going to tell my story of how I was playing with some firearms and got myself in some trouble. So if you want to hear this story, tell people, pass it along, get them to subscribe. And this has been Talking with Topher. Hope everybody has a great rest of their week. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you later.